Welcome everyone, it is Rabid Mining stream time or something like that. Let me know if the voice and music and everything is all in order, and let's get to it. Let's do a quick roll call here, see what's all going on in Funky Town over here. So we got Box Fan, Just the Miner, Drequim, Carlos Martinez, Techman TV, which seems to be going to Vegas soon, so grats to you, that sounds like fun. Don Taylor, Kissrux, Budweiser, what's going on? Crypto Noob UK, went through Responsive Resolve, 1.21 gigawatts. I wish. Box Fan, what do we got? Ogre, MG, TOW, Seb Chaps S. Looks like a bunch of repeat offenders here. Taro Makula. Rolling through. If I miss anyone, just yell at me. Golden Wolf, what's going on? 8 bits long, what's happening? Some Goblin Loser, hey, what's going on? You finally got a day off, huh? Grats. Hope the job and everything's going good, but welcome to the live stream. Dave Collins, White Arctic Walker, as always. Just a Miner, I think I said that, but not, maybe not. Enigma, let's see, Dave Collins again, and Digital Woody. Did I catch up? Is that everybody? Did I miss anyone? Adam, I think I caught you there. Oh, what do we got here? Japero. We got Master Course TV. What's happening? Not Your Biz. What's going on? And Master Course. Oh, I said Master Course TV, but you get a double ovation. Chancoin, what's happening? Chancoin's here. So yeah, what's going on, everyone? What's going on in the world? What's happening? And all that good stuff. So I saw someone relate something to the FOMO. There's no more FOMO, but again, it all depends on your perspective. What is FOMO? Like, there's still, remember, crypto is very, very new, and there's still people that are just hearing about it now, or just, someone talking about it. So realistically, there's still FOMO going on any time of day, depending where you are in the world and who your group of friends are. Example, yesterday, the radio show host, I was running into Red Deer for a quick second there, and they were talking about, stuff you do when and other people don't really understand it. People are talking about building golf courses on their PS5 and other things, and their girlfriends don't like it. I actually messaged in and said I mine cryptocurrency, and I make YouTube videos based on it, on what I learn and stuff throughout it. So they're like, oh cool. So they actually broadcasted my message into them, but what came about is they had no idea what I was even talking about. So they read out the text and everything, and they said cryptocurrency, and they're like, is that like Minecraft? Do you like mining with Minecraft or something? I was like, oh boy. And they're like, oh, I gotta look into this. But yeah, so there's a lot of people out there that still have no idea what crypto really is in general. And once people hear about it, you go to a group of friends, say you have 10 friends, and 5 of them know about it and the other 4 or 5 don't. And then you go, hey, I made this much X amount. All of a sudden, boom, well, I'm going to look into it. And then it just causes a chain of potential FOMO. So no matter what's going on, FOMO is always there. But yes, exposure is always good. And it was very interesting that they even relayed my text on air. So it was sweet. I was driving in there. I was like, yes. But then, I messaged them back, said, no, it's like Bitcoin, Ethereum, all these other things. Look into that. And then they laughed at me and said, now it's even more confusing than before. So yeah, good stuff about that. And another thing, where is it? Someone added me about some coin here. I'm just rolling through a quick chat here. Was it? Oh, my throat is a little scratchy. Sorry, guys. So Adam, yeah, you said, have you heard of Duino coin? It makes like 0.8 cents. So 8 cents per day per Arduino. Each Arduino is like $5. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. If it's a staking thing or something, or if it's a proof of work, no idea. But that led me to something I totally forgot about, which I found out a couple days ago, which I got to do a lot more research into. So as a comparison, remember, Litecoin, you got your L3 plus app miners and whatnot, and Litecoin is fairly profitable, but then Dogecoin came out and they added in the merge mining of Doge and Litecoin. Well, what if I told you that the potential same thing is happening on XMR or Monero? So supposedly there's some other chain that's teaming up with Monero, and they're going to be merge mining. So as you mine XMR, you're going to be paid out with this other token as well. And I can't remember what it's called or what's all going on with it, but it's going to be coming soon. And, depending on prices and what's going on, that could potentially make XMR mining even more profitable, just how we saw with Litecoin merge mined with Dogecoin. So that is very, very interesting news moving into the future. Like, CPUs are a lot more people are starting to build onto like CPU types of things. I don't know if it's because, you know, the recent raptoreum explosion and all that other stuff, but there's a lot more, you know, talk about CPU mining. Obviously there's always going to be talk about GPU mining, but I just think this is really good for, you know, just crypto mining in general, because as we know, proof of stake is coming on Ethereum. It's going to be extended. Who knows if it'll be extended longer? We have no idea what the full details are, but eventually it will no longer be GPU mineable. We know this, and it's just going to happen. But with CPU mining being added into the mix, it's just another way to remain profitable, even when GPU profitability drops, you know, pretty low. It's going to be a dramatic drop, especially at first. But, you know, as everything spreads out, we don't know what the full outcome is going to be until it actually happens and we see everything. It's going to be a few months after Ethereum does move over to proof of stake that we see what coins are going to start becoming the next go-to mineable coins. But until that happens, we don't know right now. RTM is sucking right now. Yeah, but so is the whole crypto market right now. Everything is going down. But also, it was bound to see. Remember, raptoreum prices, you know, you can kind of punch this into your schedule potentially when you want to purchase raptoreum or something. I've never purchased it myself. I was thinking about it because I do want to try to hit like 1 million coins or ultimately have my own complete node. I think it'd be sweet when I, you know, put my raptoreum to smart node. I think it'd be nice when they consolidate and, you know, a complete node to myself would be awesome. But, you know, that's long-term goals. But, you know, keep in mind, because end of every month is when they do their consolidations, which is when they take all your mini transactions because you're spread across all the nodes and they consolidate it all into a single node. And then as the month goes by, it keeps happening as you add more into it. Same time when they do that is when you can do your withdrawal. So it was the end of the month, and that's when we started seeing the price come down. It's just going to happen. It's just a way to watch the market, because remember when the month beforehand, raptoreum was at like 1 cent, maybe like under a cent. And then we went up to like, you know, mid-month, we were around 8 cents. Then we went back down. We're sitting around 4 or 5 cents when the payouts came out. So people were selling their raptoreum, whether they're paying off some of their hardware or, you know, doing whatever they got to do. They were taking some profits, and, you know, that's totally acceptable. Why wouldn't you take profits if you're up? If you had half a cent worth of raptoreum in a smart node and it was up to like 4 or 5 cents, why would you not take some profits? You know, if you actually needed it. At the same time, we're all in there for the long-term gain. Hopefully it hits a nice spike, but it's just bound to happen. So the end of every month, keep in mind, we could see a raptoreum price decrease because people will be selling smart node payout tokens at that time frame. So just keep that in mind when looking at raptoreum. So right now, who knows, as the month goes by, depending on the whole crypto market, it may you know, slowly start to build up again. Then we'll see those drops at the end of each month like we just saw. Anyway, so yeah, did that kind of go through that? Is RTM actually still profitable at normal electric costs? Well, it depends what normal electric costs are. Normal electric costs is depending where you are. I don't really know. I haven't been able to do my profitability test for a couple weeks now because I've been doing all the tests of a test mixed with tests and testing previous tests of tests, as we saw. But after I am done this here to see which one's the better miner between XM rig versus CPU miner GR, as well as testing these 4 or 5 pools that I do have going on for this week, then I can go back and see what raptoreum profitability is actually looking like. But I haven't been able to do it for a couple weeks, so I have no idea how profitable it is right now because I have different tokens coming in from all over the place, and I got some locked in on pools because the ones that I can change payouts on, I have it set to like 5,000, so there's ultimately no way to get a payout throughout that week. And then all the other ones, they do say your total paid out and whatnot. So that's how I'm kind of comparing everything. So, but the ones I can stack on a pool I am stacking just so I can see my total numbers there. But what do we got here? At Rabid Mining from Adam. I'm trying to find how to mine on an old router with XMR router. Kind of like this article, computing power of computers, smartphones, and routers abused to mine crypto. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You're trying to find out how to mine on an old router. Like, do you mean your router, like your internet router? Oh my gosh, what is going on with me? Sorry guys, I got like little hiccups and all this stuff going on. Average 23 kilohash. Where should I hodl my RTM? Well, I use iNodes myself. Now, I can't get into it on this browser. I got to switch my browser because, let me check here. If I go to iNodes, is it still working on this? Oh, what's going on? Oh, I gotta log in and everything from default. Okay, so I gotta log in, so I'm not gonna do that now because then you guys will see all my stuff, you know, all my login info. I could hide it right now, but we'll maybe take a look at it in a minute. What's a good hash rate for a 5950X? Well, we'll just run over here to good old mineraptoreum.com. We'll look that up. Hold on 1 second. Let me adjust my screen. I always forget about this. Picture, boom. Okay, so here we are. 5950X. Judging by this, boom, 1. It's guessing 4.2. Looks like a nice average hash rate for a 5950X. Now, I'm guessing more if you're running efficient, maybe 4. About a hash rate of 4 kilohash would be, you know, an all-right hash rate running efficient. I don't really like how a lot of people do their numbers because you got to remember there's a lot of people out there that have like solar or really cheap power, or they don't really care about power and they just, you know, maximize everything they could possibly do. And then that shoots out numbers. Like if you look up XMR hash rates for say a 3900X, everything you're looking across the board is like 15,000, 14,900, 15,300, 15,500. And when you're getting those numbers, it's totally possible, but you're using twice as much power as you would be using getting say like 13,700 hashes, where you only lose like, you know, 1,400 hashes on XMR, but you're saving 50% of the power. So I like to run nice and efficient. All you guys do know that, but when you actually look at hash rate numbers, a lot of it is just through the moon. A good example of that actually is, look at this. I'm gonna zoom this in because it's white. I don't know if there's a dark mode here, just so you guys can kind of see a little better what I'm talking about. Here's the XM rig. As we know, a new version did come out. I'll check out, kind of compare a number here in a second, but we go to release notes here for Ghost Rider. And then we scroll down. I don't like these numbers. Oh, it changed a little bit here by the looks of things, but still. Look at this. So allegedly Linux outdated, but this is tested by Delgon. I'm not sure what all, but he must have these things severely pumped out, wasting, I don't even want to know how much power he's using. Like seriously, 3.7 average hash rate on a 3900X. Like I'm doing, you know, 2.8, depending on the date, 2.8 to maybe 3.2. That's nice and efficient. Once I start pumping up, like when I use DRAM Ryzen clock tuner, DRAM calculator, you know, everything just to maximize the performance on my 3900X, I was getting around 3.6 or so average hash rate, 3.5, 3.6. Now I was using well over 240 watts. So he's hitting 3.7 here as a benchmark to show people is a number that is very, very inefficient. So people are trying probably to shoot for this, and they're going to be degrading your CPUs. You're going to be overheating your motherboards probably. Like trying to pull out numbers where, you know, these main devs and stuff are showing you what you should be getting. Don't do it. I hate looking at numbers and seeing such high numbers when I know what's going on in the background, that it is totally not worth it. So I just want to keep that in mind for some of you guys out there that are fairly new to this. I like to run nice and efficient, and I did previous tests where Raptoreum is such a weird algorithm where overclocking that much, even though you're gonna be like, I get so much more hash rate, I'm gonna be making a lot more coins. It doesn't really give you that much extra coins. Past couple of weeks I talked about it, and using 240 watts back when the hash rate on Raptoreum was only like 10 mega hash. Total was like 240 watts I think I was using, and then I think I pulled out 17,050 coins just for a quick example. Then running efficiency when I was only using like a maximum of my whole system under 100 watts, and the peak range was about 118 watts peak on the one rotation. It hit that power consumption. I mined 10 coins less, so like 17,040 or 17,030. So it was like 10 to 15 coins less, running way less power than fully cranked out. So Raptoreum is totally crazy algorithm. One stick of RAM performs just as well, sometimes better than 2 sticks of RAM. Again, depending on the rotation. It is a very weird algorithm with all those different rotations. But don't get me wrong, if you decide to move to like Haven, or if you decide to move like Mine XMR or something, you will need those 2 sticks of RAM. You will need a nice steady overclock. So Raptoreum, in my mind, when it comes to like getting your CPU and all built, it seems like a beginner friendly type of coin to mine, because your settings don't really result that much of differences instead of mining like XMR. So if you start moving to XMR, you're going to have to do a lot more tuning, fine tuning, you know, getting things in there, because hash rate does matter a bit more than over raptoreum. Oh, I have tried so many settings, and yours is, it is really the most efficient. X field rounds. Yes, because I do all these tests for you guys. I do these tests so that you guys don't have to. Like, a lot of people say I doctor numbers, and you know, there's a lot of stuff coming in as more people, you know, start viewing your videos. Obviously, you get a lot of that hate mail, and in that hate mail, in terms of hidden comments and emails and other stuff, people accusing me of doctoring these numbers and doing all sorts of things. But everything is 100% legit. That's why a couple weeks ago I showed you guys transaction per transaction of my actual wallet when I do my tests on how I actually do it, so I can show you, like, everything's 100% a legit what I get. And I showcase that all to you guys, so you guys have the information. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm not saying don't crank up your CPUs. Do it. If you have solar or something, go for it. Like, I'm not stopping you whatsoever. I'm just saying I like to run nice and efficient, because, you know, I'm depending on your power. If you have like megawatts and gigawatts of power that you have to your disposal, then by all means go for it. And, you know, if you're hardly paying anything for power, why not? But still, I just don't prove it myself. I only have the 130 amp 240 volt breaker, so I run nice and efficient. I try to get the max amount of hash rate that I can get on my complete circuit, you know, for the least amount of power needed. It's showing Canadian. It looks like the prices jump. Oh, here we go. Smack. Boom. There's USD for you guys. Did that help you? Am I on the right thing? Oh, small screen. Yeah. Let me adjust this so you guys can see it a little bit better. If you guys are unaware, this is my own website here. This is rabidmining.com. It also has my merch store and everything on it. As well, smash that thumbs up button. And if you are new to the channel, obviously hit that subscribe button. We got 91 viewers and 44 likes. What do we got for questions out there? AMD CPU, 3000 or 5000 series, best for RTM non-G. I believe there is only one G CPU, isn't there? Isn't it like the 56 or the 5700G? Is that that's the only one that's a G in between those two series, isn't there? But again, I could be wrong. I haven't really been looking into the G series. But when it comes down to hash rate, right now, you're probably better off going with the 5000 series. One, it's newer. It'll have better resale value in the future if that's part of your strategy. And, you know, scalpers are just taking over the 3000 series department. So you can buy 5000 series CPUs cheaper than the 3000, which is pretty retarded, actually. But hey, that's just the way it rolls in this type of market at these times. Failed to set MSR for CPU. Admin root privilege required. This just started happening out of nowhere. Rick Rhymes, did you just install a new miner or anything? Make sure you do right click on it and run it as an administrator, or you might have to restart your computer. So run it as administrator, restart your computer, and then run it as administrator again. And it should apply MSR values for you. And again, if you are in HiveOS using CPU miner, it will say that by default. It's an error, but it does say WinRing0. So I'm assuming you are in Windows. Some goblin losers. Have you watched Tucker Carlson get orange pilled by... No, I have not seen that yet. I've seen a few tweets about it. I don't really know what's going on with that, but no, I have not seen that video yet. Great streams as usual. Was wondering if you were still rejected shares using XM Miner. Thanks and forwards. No, I haven't really noticed any rejected shares. I'm just going to jump into HiveOS right now and see. I updated it this morning to see how things are comparing. And wow, look at that. Look at that. You guys probably don't know what I'm talking about. Look at that. But you know what? Just look at that. Anyway, let's just get this a little bigger so so many screens to adjust. But here's all my testing here right now. Rig 1 right here. See rig 1? This is using the latest XM rig. XM, what is it? 16.2, I believe is what it is now. 0.2, look at 10.88 kilohash. Look at rig 2. CPU miner GR. 10.88 kilohash. They are identical right now. That's the first time I've seen that. Majority of the time, XM rig is actually a little bit ahead of the CPU miner. And then there's a couple rotations where I do notice the CPU miner is actually ahead of there. I'm just going to hit the refresh, see if anything does change here. That's the first time I've actually seen them identical. So here we are. Oh, Rick. Oh, wow. Look at that 10K. So there must be just a quick algo switch happen here. So do a couple of refreshes here, see what's happening. Oh, great. Now it doesn't want to go to it. You know what? We're going to get to the bottom of this. Actually, that won't even work. There we go. There we go. Quick refresh again. Now it swapped over. Now we're at 2.8 on XM Rig and 2.4 on CPU Miner. So these are like the numbers I see majority of the time. I don't want to go into the background of my testing that I'm doing right now. If you guys missed that video, Rig 1 is XM Rig on Flockpool. Yes, it's on Flockpool. I know before you say it. And Rig 2 is on Flockpool as well, but with CPU Miner GR. Now, the reason I am using Flockpool for this test, I didn't go into too much detail on that video, but number one is the majority of the hash rate is there. So, you know, anyone that's coming in saying any of my tests are wrong, they're like, why didn't you use Flockpool? Why didn't you do this? I'm using Flockpool, so I, you know, depending on the results, I don't know what they're going to be yet. I can say, here, I used your pool and I just showed you, you know, it's exactly what I've been telling you. It's not as profitable or it's not as good or something because of so much hash rate on it. But I don't know the results yet, so, you know, this might just, you know, put my foot in my mouth. But at the same time, the other reason why I'm using Flockpool is because CPU Miner GR has the lowest dev fee if you use Flockpool. That is the whole reason why I think majority of the people are even on Flockpool, because, you know, you get your lowest dev fee and everything. Now, keep that in mind. Now, XM Rig is only 1% dev fee. So if XM Rig ends up defeating CPU Miner GR on its own pool, that right there goes to show you that using GPU Miner on any other pool, because you're going to have an yet increased dev fee on top of that, XM Rig is the way to roll across Raptoreum on any pool you want to choose. I'm doing this because it is the number one pool that, you know, all the people in the comments say to use. It has the most amount of hash rate, and it is the lowest dev fee on the CPU Miner GR. So if XM Rig has everything stacked against it on Flockpool, and if it somehow ends up prevailing in this XM Rig versus CPU Miner GR, then there's no way you can say that XM Rig is not better. So everything is stacked against it, and that's why I'm doing it this way. So I really want to get to the results of this video, but I still have like 4 more days to go to see what happens, and I really can't wait for those results. And then, you know, just to keep everything before we actually get the results of XM Rig versus CPU Miner, I did use CPU Miner on all the pools for my tests. That way I can't say, you know, because people are going to be like, well, how come you didn't use XM Rig, or how come you didn't use CPU Miner on the other pools? It's not a fair test. So Rig 1 and Rig 2 is doing the test of XM Rig versus CPU Miner GR. And then just for default, you know, arguing purposes, CPU Miner GR is being used on all the other pools. So we're going to find out what the most profitable pool is for throughout this week. We're also going to find out what the better miner is, and then we're going to see what's going to happen to the hash rate and everything across Raptoreum when this comes into play. Now, keep in mind, when this does happen, possibility Monero Ocean may open up a whole new world of CPU mining when this happens, because they have implemented Raptoreum. It is not fully implemented into their benchmarking and everything yet. It's still kind of bugged. So the profit switching part of that is not in there. But once it is, that's going to open up a whole new world, because that will make Monero Ocean extremely profitable, even though it already is really profitable. But it'll make it even more profitable. It'll probably be way more profitable than mining, you know, just Raptoreum directly. Now, with that added in, people will be like, oh, well, then you can't stake it or you can't do this. Well, you're making more with the XMR. So just convert that XMR in the Raptoreum and put it in your nodes. So overall, you know, I think that will help out with the Flockpool hash rate as well. But again, a lot more testing has to be done and finish up. So hopefully, you know, that gives a little bit of insight without actually showing you numbers that's currently happening during this test. First 24 hours, I did, to all the members out there that are members of the channel, I did give the first 24-hour results of this test the first day there. So remember, if you're a valuable member, you do get inside information in the back end every once in a while on these tests and stuff that I do. So that is a perk of being a member of the channel. Ping to server also influence profitability, especially if you don't live near B. Well, ping definitely does, but keep in mind, every pool I've ever mined to, like even 011 data, any of this, my ping has always been at least 130 to 180 anytime mine, because no pool is fluid. Manifacal, whatever it's called, that's actually the first pool when I did this test. I'm actually finding out it's the lowest ping I ever had, and that is 92 to 94 is what I'm getting on that pool. So keep in mind, yes, ping does matter, but I say, if you're in between 120 to 180, a pool is not too bad for you. And that's any pool I ever mined to, that's pretty much what my ping is, because my internet is not that great. Could you open the flock pool and compare accepted shares better than compare hash rate? Power MI. That was something I just noticed the other day. And XMRig is shooting out more shares than CPU Miner GR. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm getting more accepted shares with CPU Miner or with XMRig than I am on CPU Miner GR on flock pool. You know what? We're only at day 3. So you know what? We're going to do an inside flock pool thing here. All right. Just for you guys right now. If you guys want to see this, you know, give me a bunch of thumbs up here. You know, if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Maybe a bunch of super chats. No, I'm just kidding about that. But you can if you want. You know, it greatly helps the channel. But you know what? I'm going to give you right here. We're coming up. Actually, right now is exactly the 3-day mark on flock pool for these tests. So I'm going to have to write down my numbers because I'm also writing down the numbers every single day to kind of get an idea of what these hash rates are looking like. Actually, I have about 45 minutes till it's a full 3 days here. But okay, we're gonna go to flock pool right now. We're gonna look at XMRig versus whatever we got going on here. CPU Miner GR. We're gonna do this right now. We're doing this right now for you guys live. Thank you very much, Some Golf Loser, for the $3 donation. Giant thumbs up, much appreciated. So first thing I gotta do is I'm gonna have to adjust my screen here so you guys will be able to see things that's happening. I guess we'll just go to full screen here. I'm gonna have to pull up my wallet so I can actually see. Where's my wallet? I'm gonna have to pull up my wallet so I can get my 2 miners, so I know exactly. Because look at all this. Like I can guess which. I got a whole bunch. Look at all the addresses I got in here from different tests I've ever done on flock pool. So I got to find the right ones I need here. Anonymous Miner, you're 4 members of the Wolf Pack. Yes, congratulations. Thank you for being a 4-month member with the big thumbs up and yes. Okay, come on, wallet, load up. I'm gonna hide you. We're gonna go to receiving addresses. So CPU Miner GR, copy. We're copying that right now. Here we go. Flock pool, CPU Miner GR. You guys ready for this? CPU Miner GR, bum, bum, bum. Here we are, boom. Okay, so now I'm gonna adjust my screen so we can see what's going on here. Remember, you gotta keep these numbers in mind. Day 3. So, make it a little smaller so we can see. All right, so here's day 3 of this test. So it looks like we have 68 unpaid. So 68 plus 3, so 68. 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 71, and then just quick average, we're gonna have to add. So we're gonna say 72 is our current balance right here with CPU Miner GR. But here's our accepted. I'm gonna write this down so I don't forget it. Accepted shares is 2439. 2439. And we have 11 stale. All right, 2439. Okay, I'm gonna write down that quick thing too. So 68, 71. So we're gonna go 72 for a quick average. It's a little over 72 coins that we've mined so far with CPU Miner GR. Now let's take a look at XMRig. Where's XMRig? Wallet, copy. All right, you guys ready? XMRig numbers. XMRig numbers. Boom. 2609. What do we got? Oh, look at that. We have 2609 accepted shares. Just under 200 more accepted shares than CPU Miner GR. We do have 1 rejected though. What's our total paid here? 68 and 4. 68, 9, 71, 72. We have like the exact same XMR. We have pretty much the exact same. CPU Miner GR might be ahead by like 0.1 or 0.2 coins, but rough estimate, they are both at 72 coins. Mined here. Accepted shares 2609. And the other one was 2439. So we have more accepted shares than we do on that. Now we have 4 stale shares. Now we had 11 stale shares with CPU Miner GR, but we do have 1 rejected with this one. So, you know, head to head so far after 3 days, Raptoreum mined wise, we're pretty close to the same thing after 3 days. We're getting more accepted shares on XMRig. We get less stale shares with XMRig. Oh, I just hit another rejected share. We now have 2 rejected shares. But overall, you know, and this is looking really good because now remember, what if you went to another pool, any other pool? You're going to have an increased dev fee using the CPU Miner GR. Now, I can potentially see another update coming out where he lowers the dev fee potentially, because if he doesn't, then XMRig by default is probably going to be the winner here. What's our average hash rate? 3.01. Okay, let's go back. So we have 3.01 average hash rate. What's our average hash rate with the other one? I forget now. Where's my address? 3.01. Let's take a look at my 3.01 here. Copy 3.01. We have a higher average hash rate as well on top of, so we have a higher average hash rate with XMRig as well. Very interesting things going on here. So these are the quick tests going on. So there is a little insight, day 3 of what's happening here. After the live stream, I'm going to write down all the numbers for my video day 3 here and see what's going on between all the pools and everything. But yeah, there we are. XMRig is looking very, very good in terms of this. And remember, lower dev fee, no tuning required whatsoever at all. There's no 4-hour tune. You change your settings, you start mining. You don't have to, do the tune. We did find out that doing the full tune anyway after you initially did it doesn't really make it worth it at all. But very, very crazy, interesting stuff happening with this test so far. I really do think XMRig is the better miner. I even noticed on my workstation while using XMRig that I can do a lot more stuff in the background with XMRig than I can with the CPU miner, because I don't know, it's tweaked a lot better for your CPU in my own opinion myself. Matt Electron, what's going on? AVN CPU mining starts soon. Going to try solo mining on all my CPU rigs for a week and get in early. What is AVN? Oh, I gotta write this down. When does it start? Hopefully it's after this test. Is it gonna start after this test? I don't even know what AVN is. I haven't noticed this. AVN soon. All right, I'm gonna need some more info. Matt Electron, DM me whatever you know about it, if you don't mind. But yeah, it sounds very interesting. Definitely, you got to get in these projects early. I have no idea what that is, but hopefully it starts after I've done these tests, because I can't cut these tests off in the middle of them. Awesome amount of shares. Yeah, I'm really enjoying XMRig. And when I first seen that XMRig dropped on Raptoreum, I know my first thing was, oh, well, it's not tuned and all this stuff. But just by knowing XMRig is, a nice go-to default miner for CPU mining, I pointed out anytime I talk about XMRig and CPU mining, to compare it to everyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, in GPU mining terms, that is T-Rex miner to NVIDIA and Team Red miner to AMD cards. Like, it is the go-to, the most optimized for CPUs. Like, it's the miner to go to. Avion Network rebrand Ravencoin Lite starts either Sunday or a rebrand. So is it Ravencoin Lite rebranded, or is it another fork of Ravencoin Lite? Because now we're getting into like the great long lost stepchild of coins when we're from Ravencoin or something. I don't know. I never even tried Ravencoin Lite, because once I seen it was a fork of a fork of a fork, then I don't really like jumping into that. And got to keep in mind, what is the wallet it uses? Does it use the core wallet kind of like this? If it uses the core wallet like this, I'm already probably out. If you guys are unaware, with the other core wallet there that did cause that virus, as you know, prices go up, all these coins start sprouting out, and these wallets do contain malware that people were losing Raptoreum because it was infecting their computers. I can't remember the name of that coin that it was, but it happens. So people, because that wallet is really easy just to get going for a quick BTC based coin, it can result in potential threats across other networks. So keep that in mind. It uses core wallet just like RTM. It does. So that makes me kind of in the sketchy part of it, but you never know. Maybe it's good. A fork of a forked up fork rebranded AVN. Yeah, that seems way too. I don't know if I would try that, but well, it might be worth it. I don't know if I'd actually want to. Maybe if I let me think. Maybe I'll find a really cheap old computer to build together, so that way if it gets corrupted, I won't have to worry about it. Just have that one wallet on it by itself. But I don't know. Like, I never really got into any of the. Oh, Sheetcoin. That's what it was. You're correct there, Andrew. That is what I'm talking about. Whoever had a Sheetcoin wallet address, which was the same type of wallet, it was affecting all the other wallets, and people were losing RTM and all sorts of stuff. So really do a lot of background information when you look into stuff and do things, but it seems pretty crazy. QT Core Wallet, just keep wallets encrypted. Yes, yeah, you could definitely always encrypt your wallets. That is a recommended thing to do. What's the difficulty being like on Raptoreum? It's fairly high. What is the difficulty on Raptoreum? Does it say right here? Difficulty, start. Block pool, do you not have the difficulty? Miners, hash rate, workers, no. All right, well, let's just look at Raptoreum difficulty or hash rate or whatever. 270 mega hash. Wow, we're almost at 300 mega hash. 7.6 is the, you guys can't even see that because me and my failure to do this stuff with my screen all the time. Okay, so you guys kind of see that. So right there, we got 270 mega hash on the network. 7.6 is the difficulty. Even with the price going down, people are still putting rigs on it. That's insane. I bet you there's other coins like with the current pricing. You know, it depends. Smart knows, long-term gains, whatever. There's a few coins out there that's probably more profitable at this point in time with the price this low. But I still have to do more testing. Fierce coin, Scala, I don't know, all sorts of coins. What is that, Dello or Delon? That seems very, very popular now. But yeah, oh, this is saying 313 right now. But that could depend on the current rotation that it's on. But yeah, average 270. The difficulty and hash rate is definitely high on this, guys. Been running 4 rigs, same 3900X and same boards, no difference, no shares on 306 0.5, yeah, 95 at 3.8, 1 volt after days. No difference on shares. Yeah, that's another, I should look at that. Overclocking it, not even getting any more shares. So no difference between 3.6 and 3.8 on shares. That's what I mean, like overclocking Raptoreum, your CPU right out to the max. Like, you know, people are saying, why wouldn't you do it? You should do it. And I say don't do it because it's extremely huge waste of power. Like, you could double up your rigs and over double your hash rate for the same amount of power than running inefficient for half the rigs and slight increase in performance. So yeah, anyway, but yeah, looking by what he said there, he's not even noticing a share difference between 3.6 and 3.8. Very, very interesting. That's another test I guess I got to run sometime. Don't forget to smash that like button, Crypto Noob. Correct. Do not forget to do that, guys. What are we at? 142, 73 likes. Smash that like button, guys. Hash rate started increasing the day RTM increased over 1 cent. Yeah, that's very true. I remember mining, yeah, Raptoreum was like 0.003 of a cent or something. You know, the network hash rate was only what? Like 3, it was bouncing between 3 and 5 mega hash. When it hit 6, 7 mega hash, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much hash rate on the network. I was like, crazy. Now it's at 270. That's insane. But my 6 3900X rigs at the time were mining like 9,500 Raptoreum per day at that time. It was insanely amount. It was nice. But yeah, I guess I'm going to have to look into this coin, Mad Electron. AVN, send me the details. We'll see what's happening on that. Power and mine, no difference at all. Best settings are your 3.6 that you are using on your rigs. That's what I always thought. Usually I did find 3.6 to be it, but then you do get increased hash rates. Obviously, the higher you do go. Probably the ultimate range, like Mad Electron did do that video on testing and just looking at certain coins. Usually when you start overclocking, which is over your default clock speed, so like a 3900X, 3950X, 5900X, 5950X, your default clock speeds are 3.8. Now when you're start going over above that, that's when you're actually overclocking it and you're going to need more volts and everything. And that's when you start losing your efficiency the fastest. Once you start going past that point, you gain a bit of efficiency going underneath of it. But once you start going over that initial default clock speed is when you start burning up more and more power. And that's why also I'm kind of up in the air about the 3990X because it's a 64 core, 128 thread beast. It's very expensive, but its normal clock speed is only like 2.8 or 2.9. I believe the pro version of the 95 is like 3.3 or 3.4, which would be better, but again, more price. But in order to get it up to the 3s, you're going to be pretty much exploding a lot of extra power, especially on those CPUs. So I like to keep it at least the core default clock or slightly lower depending on the coin and stuff. But like I said, XMR and stuff is when you actually do notice these differences over like Raptoreum mining. What's your hash rate total for all your rigs? Mine can fluctuate anywhere between, when I had everything going before it could, depending on the day, literally this is how much of a gap it changes depending on the rotations per day. I've seen as low as a total of 25 kilohash and as high as like 45 kilohash. So yeah, that's how much the hash rate can swing on this Ghost Rider algorithm. Threadripper and Epic too expensive for me to purchase. Oh, Box Fan, I 100% agree with you. They are way too expensive. Now, long term, they are way more efficient and everything for sure, because because they have so many cores and threads on there that the watts per thread and everything is a lot lower than running these normal consumer grades. But just the price to buy those things is definitely not worth it unless you're rich, or maybe you make a couple $1 million from Raptoreum. You can go out and afford one of those. Do we have any other questions or anything out there? Scrolling through. Rebranded. Oh, so it's actually Ravencoin Lite. They're just changing their name and stuff, is what you're saying. So it's Ravencoin Lite, just a new name, rebrand of what's already there, not fork or anything. I think I'm starting to understand that a little better. So, well, what's going on that they're rebranding it? So what happens to the old Ravencoin Lite chain? Did it just die? Is all those coins lost? Or are they still the same coins? They're just called something else, but people that don't follow it, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I'm kind of confused, but we'll figure it out. We'll get to the bottom of this. Epic has 120. Yes, I did see that. Epic does have a 128 core machine monster coming. But the only issue with that is you probably need Windows 11 or something crazy like that, because I believe Windows 10 currently only supports like 64 cores max. Linux, I believe, is around the same, isn't it? So I don't know. Obviously, there's going to be some updates to operating system stuff to be able to support that, but I don't really know what's going on in the back end of everything. But last I heard, I believe Windows 10 does only support like 64 cores, but I could be wrong. Matt Electron would be the guy to ask about that. He probably knows about that. Same coin, same blockchain, just a rebrand and algo update. So very, very interesting. Okay, so it's the exact same coin, just an update. So can you use the same wallet, or do you got to get a new wallet? If it's the same thing, I imagine your current wallet will swap over, or at least you'll get a wallet update, I'm assuming. So if it's just a rebrand to get in earlier, it's still just Ravencoin Lite moving over, transforming over. So is it going to be CPU mineable only, or is it GPU mineable as well? Because Ravencoin Lite, you can mine on both, can't you? So would GPUs be a better way to go on that coin? I'm not really sure. A lot more info. Must update to version 3 wallet. All right, a lot of stuff coming in here. Definitely gonna have to look into it. Thanks for that pro tip on Ravencoin Lite, Matt Electron, because I really didn't. I never looked into it. I seen a bunch of people making Ravencoin Lite videos, but I never even dipped into it at all. I mine XMR in BetterHash. XMR directly. I'm not sure how BetterHash works. If it's anything like NiceHash or something. XMR is one of the least profitable coins currently, not because it's a bad coin. It's a very popular coin. A lot of people do think because of what's going on everywhere and what it stands for, it could, see a nice explosion in the future. But overall, and it's going to be adding that merge mining into it, which could become more profitable. But there's just so much hash rate on XMR is why it's actually down in profitability, because there's a lot of people mining that coin. Let's say a 20K investment into mining hardware. What hardware suggestions to reach 150 to 200 per day? Electricity cost is 0. Oh my gosh. You know what? Well, you're definitely going to have to enter into the GPU mining world unless Raptoreum sees a massive spike here. But let's just go to what to mine and see. Oh my gosh, why is that so small? Let's see what you're looking at. 20,000. Honestly, for 20,000, I don't think you can make it up to that much a day, especially with the current pricing. Let's just take an example of something efficient. We could go the 3090 route, but I think price to performance, maybe the 3080s if you can find them at MSRP, and if you find them at non-LHR, which is Best Buy. But we're just gonna, we're just gonna roll 3080s, I guess. Let's go with, how many will 40 of these put out? 40 of these will, make sure Furrow Power is on. 40 3080s will make you, that's $223 a day. All right, then. So we'll bring that down a little bit. We'll go to about 20. That should be around your frame there. So where are you at? What was your 150 to that? So we'll go 45, 25. It's like about 25 3080s non-LHRs. will get you around $153 USD right there. After power, $139. So I guess shoot for 25, 30, 80 non-LHR cards, and good luck. That's all I have to say. I don't know how to answer that. That is probably what you're going to get, because you can get about 100 to 103 mega hash on a 3080 for about, Canadian wise, a little over $1,000, where you can get 61 for 580 on a 3070, but you're gonna have to double that up to like 45 cards here. So I'm guessing about 40 cards to do it on the old 3070s. So 139, 143. So yeah, you'll need about 40 3070s to equal the same at about $580 to $600 per card. So price to performance would be a 3080. The 3070 route would be more efficient, but again, like you said, power is not an issue in your case. I myself would probably go with the 3070s over the 3080s efficiency wise, especially moving on to Raven coin and other coins after the end of Ethereum. But that's just me, and I'm a lot pickier and a lot of other people out there, which is why I still haven't hit a gigahash, but that's just me. Okay, what do we got here? Going back into here, bam. Okay, we're there. FYI, the XM rig dev states the XM rig MSVC build for Windows is up to 10% faster than the Linux build. I can confirm from my own test this is correct. Some CPUs up to 15. Yeah, there's a laptop CPU is around 15. That is true. I forgot to talk about that. Where is it? Speed up, speed up, speed up. I guess it'll be right back in its default thing here. Where are we at? Full screen. Where does it say this? It says it here somewhere. It tells you which one to use. Maybe it was right here. Yeah, Linux builds are up to, so Linux builds are 10% faster now compared to the 6.16, and Windows are up to 5% faster now than 6.6 MSVC. So as of this latest one, Linux did speed up as of the current building. So which is 10. Let's take a look here. What's going on now? 2.2, wow, our hash rate is still higher. Okay, see that? Look at this. So here's another refresh of the old things, and yeah, we're pulling out more hash rate than CPU Miner GR now. Remember, I just updated these rigs here this morning, as you can see here, 2 hours, 3 hours. So actually, rig 2 has been mining slightly longer than this one because I did update it. I tried to shut it off at the same time, but so I don't know why that's saying 3 hours. What's going on here? Why are you doing that? Anyway, but yeah, so they're down. We upgraded the rigs here, and we're still getting more hash rate across it than the CPU Miner GR, which is the optimized Raptoreum miner. Very, very interesting stuff. I really cannot wait the 7 days for this to come out and see what these results are. Mining. Oh, what's going on, Mining? Welcome to the Rabid's Den. Haven't seen you the last couple of weeks. You've been busy? What's happening? I forgot where you're from now again. Is it no, it's not Middle East, is it? Central Africa? No. Oh my gosh, I'm way out to lunch. Mining, where are you from? I totally forgot. But you have been an amazing donator to this channel, so I definitely cannot forget where you actually are from. Rig 5 is still alive. Yes, Rig 5 is definitely 100% alive and kicking. And at the end of these results, he's pumped for these, because ultimately when we find out what the best pool is, which leads me into, actually I can't say anything, I might give stuff away, but then we'll know, what kind of pool, what pool we should switch to, what pool should we use. But remember, things are looking the way I've kind of been trying to tell people, where Flock Pool has way too much hash rate to the blocks that they find. So their hash to block ratio is low, which means I don't think they're the most profitable pool. I've been saying that for a very long time now, but people just don't care. They say, oh, Flock Pool is the best, because you start seeing, a little bit of increased gains really, really fast because they hit so many blocks. But the cut of that block that you're actually receiving is very, very small to pretty much any other pool out there. So we're going to get to the end of this. We're going to see, what happens over the week and what pools we should be rolling with. And again, I do believe anywhere between I think the optimal pool, because Flock Pool has so much hash rate and the other pools don't have anywhere near as much, I think if a couple pools could, spread the hash rate across, up to 30 to 35% of the hash rate would be the optimal most profitable for everybody, 30 to 35%. And by looking at my tests, these numbers are kind of starting to look true of what I've been trying to say. So hash to watt ratio or hash to block ratio, I believe about a 30 to 35% network hash rate on the pools is a most profitable percentage to have when it comes to this. And that's what we are seeing with the Ethereum is, the top few pools are sitting around, 25, 30, 20, 18. Like those are the percentages we want on Raptoreum because they are the most profitable type of percentages to have. Turn off MSI and Precision X1. At Rabid Mining, I moved from Flock Pool to R Pool and I'm earning more RTM on GR Miner. Nice. Maybe you should, well, I'm not saying yet, but maybe you should try some XM rig action because GPU Miner GR does have a yet higher dev fee on any other pool other than Flock Pool. What do you think about Minifaco Pool? I love that pool myself, honestly. Like I said, like when I went to there, that was the first time I've ever had under 100 of a ping on anything. I'm sitting around 92 to 94, maybe 95 on that pool. So I was like, right away, ping's good. Based on my tests so far, it looks like it's doing pretty decent. So personal opinion of that pool, it looks great. Depending where you live too, remember spread your hash rate around, but it's looking like a very good pool. I like it. I've shifted to Supernova from Flock Pool and I see an increased rewards. Yes, I'm noticing this in my tests as well. Again, I can't give anything away, but yeah, Supernova is looking like a great pool as well. But it's just one thing about Supernova, it's going to be kind of a learning curve on setting up for a lot of newer miners because there's a bunch of stuff you got to do. You got to set up if you don't want to, get the minimum payout, if you want to set your own payments, you got to, make an account there. Then you got to add your rigs to your account and then you start mining to it. If you just start mining to it and you try to make your account and then you use your address in your account, it's going to say, this is already in use. You cannot be used. So you either got to shut down your rigs, wait for it to all fall offline and then do it, or just set up your account, put your address and everything in early and then begin mining to Supernova. Don't just start mining to it and then set your account up later. It'll just cause you a bunch of headaches. I just got my first RTM rig going. Thanks for all the info. No problem, Justin K. Congrats on getting your rig up and rolling. I'm currently mining. Seems a lot more profitable. Malcolm, yes. There's a lot of profitable pools out there. So everyone's saying how much more profitable Flock Pool is. Even from this test, I'm telling you, the results are wrong. Like those people, I don't know what they're talking about. It's a lot of impatient people. People don't have patience these days. You just want to see stuff going into your account faster, but it's really small fractions of dust compared to what you're getting from a single block on a smaller pool. I learned that lesson about Supernova 100%. Yeah, I did that. Like Max Voltage learned that lesson when I first tried doing a test between a couple pools. It was a couple of weeks ago when I found that out. I started mining and then I went to set up my account so I could change everything. I was like, no, this ruins everything. And it doesn't even tell you your total amount. That's the other thing I didn't like Supernova for, is because it doesn't even tell you your total amount unless you have an account. So right again, I could do any comparison. So that's why a couple tests ago I wrote Supernova right off completely. But this time I did it right from the start so I can see all the numbers. But yes, Supernova is very tricky for new miners. Make sure you get your account and everything set up before you begin mining. The pronounce is Minafissel? Minafissel? Is that what it is? It's a French thing, isn't it? It's from Quebec, that pool. Betcha it is. No offense out there, though. I'm on the west side, but it sounds like it's probably a Quebec thing. My profit on Flock Pool decreased after shifting to XM rig despite increased hash rate. Is only me or... That's very interesting because we just looked at Flock Pool and everything looks pretty much identical across the board in terms of profits. But again, I just updated to the latest one. So could we see XM rig start to pull away, or are we going to start to see a fall off now? Again, every day I am writing down the numbers from day one all the way to day 7 to see what kind of changes and increases we get per day. And ultimately, we will see final numbers at the end of this 7-day test. Like miner facility. Oh, okay. Is it really worth to go with CL14 RAM on RTM rig, or is CL18 good? I have never tried CL18, but the way Raptoreum's kind of rolling, whatever's depends where you live, honestly. Get any RAM that you can afford. Don't waste money on something super expensive, because it's definitely not 100% needed. Buy RAM that can do 3000 to 32 megahertz, then run them at 2400, 14.12. Also keep in mind, yeah, exactly, there's the point. He did put it. He said run it at 2400. Depending on your motherboard BIOS, I know if you just leave XMP profile default, sometimes it won't run it. The MSI Gaming X, the ones I use, Gaming Plus Maxes, they do run it at 2400 by default, which means your memory and your fabric clock are both a 1-to-1 ratio of 1200. So 1200 on one side, 1200 on the other does make your 2400, but it could be running like 2133 or 2233. So like one side you'll have like 1070, and on your other clock you're going to be running like, I don't know, 1260 or something, or 14 something. Like it'll be a ratio that's off. So it is optimal for the Ryzens to run it in a 1-to-1 ratio. So make sure you have a nice even number there, like 2400. Like if you XMP profile enabled, you know, that's your 3200. And then that's 16 across the board on both sides of your fabric clock and memory clock. You can support by joining the channel too. Joining the channel, yeah, obviously. Hey, Max Voltage, did you go live earlier today? I got to get you on the channel one of these days. You want to do that? You want to jump on a live stream one of these days? I know you asked me a long time ago and then everything just disappeared, but you do the Misfit mining things, I believe, Saturday night tonight. So if you guys don't know, Max Voltage is usually on Misfit Minings and he has lots of information, but I would like to get, you know, kind of the blockchain side of things, because I'm not really too familiar with all the blockchains and everything that's happening with EIPs. And obviously Max Voltage is that guy who follows that stuff 100%. So I like to get him on here sometime, you know, just to talk to you guys, to know what's going on across the Ethereum network and everything. Red Panda and Rabid Mining should do a joint show together. A joint show, huh? I don't know. That'd be kind of crazy. I don't even know how that'd go, because we're both kind of like the same type of style where we just talk about whatever, answer questions, and then, so yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting. Maybe one day. We'll see. Yeah, Max Voltage is the man. When it comes to blockchains or anything to do with EIPs and all that, you know, technical stuff in the back end, he's the guy, the guy to listen to for sure. Absolutely. Didn't go live this morning. I go live every Monday night at 8. Yes, you do go live every Monday, and I usually end up missing it because I'm watching like the news or something, or eating supper, I believe, my time. If Red Panda and Rabid Mining did a show together, they would call us all hose heads. What? Why would we call you hose heads? What's going on here? That's insane. Hose heads. Oh, are there any other questions you guys want out there, though? Let me know. Ask a question. What are we... Oh, we didn't go through anything Ethereum. Oh, my gosh. I've been, like, writing off Ethereum for a little while now, but we did not touch anything. What's our block rewards looking like on the current Ethereum network? Let's have a look here. Ethereum, how are you looking? 2. Oh, we're a little lower. No, about, I guess, average-ish. 2.12, 2.1, 2.2. Oh, we got a 3.1 right there. But yeah, low gas fees throughout it. But obviously the gas, never mind. Gas is burnt. Correct me there. Sorry. I didn't mean to say low gas fees. Doesn't look like there's too many mining tips going on out there. We're just getting our basic block rewards. Obviously the gas is just retarded, stupidly high as usual. But that's just the way it rolls. And their network hash rate is looking like, I gotta, you know, maybe grow this a little bigger here. Do we hit 900 yet? 885. What's going on? Oh, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. No, I don't actually know what's going on. We are seeing them dips here, so expect those A11s to sometime, I don't know, maybe within the next couple weeks here. By the end of the month, maybe at the latest. We should be seeing those A11s starting to hit the network, so we would definitely be pushing past that 900 mark. But I really thought we would have hit 9. Like, look at here. What was that? November 18th. So a couple weeks ago, we were almost hit 900, and then it's kind of been a little bit of a drop off, unless, you know, in Silicon and all those guys are pulling them used ASICs off the network to sell them to you guys. You know, that's a very good possibility. A lot of that background speculation is coming because they're like, Ethereum's going to be extended, like a lot of people are saying. I noticed in the comments, Ethereum's just going to be extended. These giant companies, they know what's going on. They have algorithms, they have testing. They know that, they're going to be able to mine longer. They wouldn't be selling these miners. You also got to keep in mind, they've been probably mining with these miners for quite some time, and they're ROI'd themselves off, did whatever, made a whole bunch more for them, and now they're probably just kicking them off to you guys to make even more money. But again, it's all just speculation and theory, but really it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, those companies are very smart. They've already ROI'd those for themselves, so why not make extra money selling you guys used equipment that's already paid for it? But who knows? Who knows what's actually going on there? No one can tell for sure. I was really hoping to kind of see something like that. When they announced them, they did say they're coming out here soon, even though they're nerfed to what their previously specs were, which adds me to believe maybe they weren't really mined on, because those specs would have been released a long time ago. But we should have seen a big dip here, and then the hash rate would go up again as the people were putting them online after being bought. So we're not really seeing that, but who knows what's happening. We're gonna have to wait and follow this a little bit more in the future, see what's happening. Rabid Mining making them money. Nah, it is quality assurance testing. Yeah, okay, yeah, they're making sure they run efficiently, making sure they won't blow up as soon as they sell them. But in the meantime, during their testing phases, they seem to pay themselves off during initial testing phases. That sounds a little better. That's right. That's a good way to look at it. That was their quality controls. That's right, Max Voltage. You're 100% right there. Not sure knows about the McKenzie brothers. I don't. McKenzie brothers kind of sound familiar, but I'm not 100% sure on them. The ASIC manufacturers also aren't playing the 30K plus for them. It probably only cost them 500 at most. Hey, nobody. Oh, I wish I remembered their prices. Like looking at all the miners, like 2 months ago, like the L7, you could have bought it USD wise. Like it was like $14,000 or $15,000. Remember that L7, the initial batch pre-orders it was like 14 or 15,000. And at the time, that was a lot. But right now, because the crypto and everything went up, they're selling for $40,000 to $50,000 now because of the crypto prices. So yeah, all these third-party sellers and everything, they definitely tack on the price. And depending on the crypto market, those price tags are just going to go up, just like everything else. Best to direct mine and hodl. Do your not financial advice. Yeah, for sure, definitely. Noobs need to consult miners, hashing services. Have placed their new people think they are mining when they are really just padding the pockets of a hashing service. Yeah, for sure. That's another thing that's the one thing a lot of people, they're easier to use, but at the same time, you're paying a third party, so you're losing out on profits because you're paying a third party to help you mine easier. Perhaps I missed it. What pool is shaping up to mine RTM on? Derek Akakuda. I can't let you know. We're only 3 days into the test, so I can't tell you which pool is winning or anything or what the results are. Earlier, we did look at Flock Pool just to kind of get a comparison of the 3 days. So a little midweek here, almost. Another half a day would be middle grounds. But I also had an issue the other day, though. My internet did go out for 8 hours. So at the end of all this, and when I get to my results video, I'll go through it all. But after the initial 7 days, I'm going to have all my numbers, but I'm also going to keep mining for an extra 8 hours because my internet was out for 8 hours, so nothing was mined at the time. But it's not going to affect any results. It's not going to hurt anything because everything went down at the exact same time and everything came back up at the exact same time. But I do have to tack in an extra 8 hours onto the actual full 7 days from the time I initially started due to internet issues. But it's really interesting though, because this test, a lot of stuff is happening in this test because I got that all running. Then my internet goes out and, all sorts of stuff. So it actually shows, it could be like real world environment where technical difficulties did happen during this test. So it's very interesting to see, how it all pulls off in the end. I'll test Binance, but I might have to change my name tag on it. Perhaps I missed how we went to the pool off the Panda stream. Thanks, Rabid. Oh, is Panda live right now? Panda live, guys? Well, if Panda is live, I guess we will do a Rabid raid over to Panda. Usually he goes an hour after now. So let's have a look here. YouTube, Red Panda. YouTube, Red Panda Mining. Are you live? Oh, he is live. Red Panda is live, guys. So let's do a raid over to Mr. Red Panda Mining Show. I would appreciate all you guys for showing up. We'll be doing rig picks. I guess we didn't get to too many AMAs, so maybe another AMA tomorrow as well. So thank you everyone for showing up to today's live stream. Much appreciated. And check out Red Panda Mining. Make sure you said Rabid Mining sent you. And we're doing a Rabid raid, so hit there. Smash that like button on the way out, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for coming, and Rabid out.